We are getting into 6 NFL players who need a breakout year in the 2023 season. With that, let's go. Number 1 on our list, we have Gabriel Davis of the Buffalo Bills. Now, if you followed this guy's career for a while, you don't even need to follow it, really. If you've been a fan of football for about the past 2-3 years, you know of this guy because of one single game. 2021 season, divisional round, Chiefs, Bills at Arrowhead. That is the main reason that most NFL fans would know this guy, because he put up an unreal 203 yards, 4 touchdowns, and almost won the Bills that game single-handedly. But as you would probably know if you're an NFL fan, which I'm assuming you are if you're watching this video, the Bills lost with 13 seconds left on the clock. I'm not going to get into that. That's a story for another day. Maybe I'll put a analysis on that or something like that. Probably won't because I don't feel like it. But maybe. But anyways, this guy cannot stay consistent. That is his problem. He can go out and have 200-yard games, 2 touchdowns, amazing. And then go out, 1 reception, 13 yards, no touchdowns, 3 drops. He has his days, and then he doesn't. Just a very inconsistent guy that, for the Bills, going into the season, we're looking very scary with Von Miller, and we all thought that Gabriel Davis was going to emerge as a true wide receiver, too, for Josh Allen. Getting into our next person, who is a former number 1 NFL draft pick, and also it's been on, I think, 4 different teams. I'm talking about Baker Mayfield. So Baker Mayfield, he has been doubted his entire career, and really, I did not expect him to go number 1 in the 2018 NFL draft, but he did. He obviously wasn't the best out of that class, so I think there's probably 2 quarterbacks better than him out of that class. Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen, obviously, are tremendously better impact players. But Baker Mayfield has been on, I think, 4 different teams since 2018. I don't like what the Browns did with him, because they kind of just shipped him away. They went out and got Deshaun Watson. Don't like how they did that, because I actually like Baker Mayfield, and I think he might be able to have a bounce back here. Even though Todd Bowles, I think, is the worst coach in football, and he is not trained for that role as a coach. I think Bruce Arians was 100 times better. Maybe Tom Brady would still be playing if Bruce Arians was still the coach there. We will not know. But Baker Mayfield has his years, and then he doesn't. He's like Gabriel Davis, but his years are good, bad, good, bad, good. Obviously, the highlight of Baker Mayfield's year was going to the Rams. I think it was a Tuesday. I had to play a Thursday night game. Goes in there, pinned on the 5-yard line. 1 minute and something left on the clock. He goes down, drives a perfect game. Just perfect drive. Everything about it. Goes down the field, gets a touchdown. That's really the highlight of his year. So, he needs to prove something in Tampa Bay. to get a shot at a big contract. Getting into number 3 on our list, another quarterback, Justin Fields. I think he's the quarterback we might not know the most about out of that 2021 NFL quarterback class, because he's never been surrounded by proper weapons, and this year he has DJ Moore to throw to. Obviously, I'm pretty sure I would take his rushing ability over Lamar Jackson's rushing ability. I wouldn't take him over Lamar Jackson in general. Lamar can throw better. Justin Fields is going to need to establish a passing game this year, where the Bears will not win. They'll get the first pick. And then maybe Caleb Williams. I don't like to say it, but if Justin Fields cannot break out this year, I think there is a possibility for the Bears to get a quarterback in the draft. I don't like that possibility because I like Justin Fields a lot and the way he can turn a game around with his legs, even though he didn't turn that many games around. But he kept some games close last year. So, we're going to have to see with DJ Moore. He's never been around a good team, good supporting cast. Getting on into our next player, Cam Akers. We have no idea how the Rams are going to be. They could go to the playoffs or they could be the worst in the league. Depends on health. But one person who's going to have to prove themselves this year, more than anyone on that team, is Cam Akers. He has to prove someone. He needs a bigger contract. He needs to carry this team into the playoffs. I don't think he's the greatest running back. Not even close. But Cam Akers is going to need to prove something this year if he wants to make big money. Getting into our next guy, Trey Lance. Trey Lance is about Justin Fields. I actually do not mean that anymore. Trey Lance, we know nothing about. I think he started for about 6 or 5 games. Went down this year. Saw he was working out with Patrick Mahomes this year. Should be pretty beneficial for him, but the main thing about Trey Lance is we don't know how his health is. He's got hurt in last year. Pretty sure he got hurt the year before. And there's a new kid on the block in Brock Purdy. I think the 49ers are put in the toughest situation in the entire league at quarterback. You have Brock Purdy, Trey Lance. They even have Sam Darnold. I think Sam Darnold will start for one game this season due to injury, whatever. But I think he will. If the Niners get off to a rocky start, I could see Sam Darnold going in there and maybe even proving himself something. But he is not on this list. And Trey Lance is going to need to prove that he's a starter and that they made the right decision putting that much trust in him. Getting into our last guy on this list, Kadarius Toney. Obviously, had a huge game at the Super Bowl. He easily could have won Super Bowl MVP. Probably think he should have. Even though I wanted the Eagles to win, I think Kadarius Toney should have won it. I mean, where do I begin with Kadarius Toney? He's going to be taking on a wide receiver 1 role for the Kansas City Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes. And he could be playing very good, especially because he probably will have the cornerback too, as long as Travis Kelce stays healthy. Because if Travis Kelce stays healthy, he's going to have that cornerback number 1 on him, probably. Because if you put a linebacker on Travis Kelce, It is not going to be good. But, anyways, Travis Kelce isn't in this video or anything like that. But, Kadarius Toney, for the first time, is put in a good role for himself. Defenses are going to be focusing on Mahomes doing something weird, where he spins around, throws the ball with his left hand to the third string left tackle on the team. That's what their teams are going to be worried about, or Travis Kelce. But probably the first option, because we know what the Chiefs like to do. But Kadarius Toney, I think, is going to be taking on that number one receiver role. And probably by tomorrow, DeAndre Hopkins is going to sign with the Chiefs, just so this can just blow up in my face completely. But hopefully that doesn't happen, because I'm going to be very mad as a Bills fan. But Kadarius Toney needs to prove himself as a wide receiver one. I think he'll be able to do that. The guy like Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce drawing most of the defense's focus. And that's really it on this list. I hope you liked this video. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.